Mel Medarda is an incredibly compelling character. She started as an heir to a ruthless throne in a land of war, but her diplomacy and cunning approach to problem solving got her disowned by her own mother. Even in her exile, however, she earned one of the top political positions in the most technologically advanced nation in Runeterra. And that's just where her story begins. Because when tensions reach a boiling point and there's no more room for diplomacy, Mel uses a rather aggressive form of negotiations with her light magic.
We call this a diplomatic solution?
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
And while you can cover her cunning and diplomacy, my build tips and subclass can help you express her radiant arcane prowess. Welcome to my wife is VMC, and I appreciate you stopping by. I'm DMV, and I've been running and DMing D&D Homebrew for 10 years. It's the end of March by the time this video goes live, and I'd be remiss not to release something for International Women's Month. So in this video, we'll be looking over at how to play as Arcane's Mel Medarda. I'll be giving two different ways on how to build her. The first build will use official D&D 2024 rules, and the second build will use the Homebrew subclass I created. I'll be showcasing its core features in an action cam exhibition, so stick around for that. Side note, I wrote the subclass with both 2014 and 2024 versions, but for the sake of this video, I'll focus on the 2024 update. Anyway, let's start with the official build. I know this is a homebrew channel, but I wanted to include a few character creation tips using official rules if that's more your speed. If you're here for the homebrew, there should be timestamps down below that you can jump to. So let's build Mel at level 6 just to get you started. For species, Mel seems like a regular human at first. But the circumstances surrounding her birth and her mysterious origins with a mage make Aasimar a fine choice. She's easily a noble, so take that for her background. It comes with a skilled feat, and I'd recommend Investigation, Insight, and Calligrapher supplies for flavor. Using point buy, my recommended stats would look like this. Class selection is a tricky one. Narratively, Sorcerer is a better fit. But thematically and mechanically, I feel like Warlock checks more boxes. You'll know why in a bit, and I think it's worth the hiccup with Mel's lack of an otherworldly patron. So, Warlock level 1. Take the Armor of Shadows for some defense, since Mel doesn't really wear armor. Pact of the Blade works too, especially since it lets you deal radiant damage, but this works best with a 2024 True Strike cantrip. At level 3, you can switch to Pact of the Tome and get the Starry Wisp cantrip. Then, take Agonizing Blast to add your Charisma modifier to your new cantrip. Of course, take the Celestial subclass at level 3 to get you on the path of full radiant damage. Level 4, pump your Charisma to 18 for your spellcasting. Level 5 grants new invocations again, and I'd recommend Repelling Blast to match Mel's Light Push ability. And maybe Ascendant Step? She does levitate, although floating doesn't really do much other than make you an open target for ranged enemies, so this one's more of an open pick for you. At level 6, you get the Radiant Soul feature, which adds your Charisma modifier to your Radiant or Fire spells. And this is where the fun begins. Because with your Aasimar Celestial Revelation active, your Radiant cantrip or spell damage deals a flat plus 11 Radiant damage on a hit. This works for stuff like Starry Wisp or Sacred Flame, but True Strike is a bit of a gray area, so that's something you have to work out with your DM. For spell selection, here's a list of spells I'd recommend in order of priority. It's not the most optimized list since this favors the character theme instead of power, although it does offer some choices to make sure you're contributing to the party. I stop here for the official build since this is supposed to be just a starting point, and we've got an entire separate subclass to talk about. If you really want to optimize this build, going all the way with Warlock isn't a bad idea, but taking Sorcerer levels from this point on for quickened spell shenanigans wouldn't be a bad choice either, especially if your DM lets you use the Divine Soul subclass from Xanathar's Guide. If you have an issue with the narrative disconnect of Mel being a Celestial Warlock, an alternative would be going all in on the aforementioned Divine Soul Sorcerer. But if you only want to emulate Mel's force field abilities, the Abjurer Wizard is actually a really good fit. The only hiccup I have with the Abjurer is the intelligence-based spellcasting, which isn't really narratively solid for Mel Medarda. But if you're interested in more official D&D character building, Friends of the Channel Game Master's Guide has great party builds, while D&D Builds has more in-depth solo builds. Tell them I sent ya! We still have a homebrew section to talk about, so I hope you stick around. Still, if homebrew isn't for you, then I hope you leave a like and have a pleasant day, because this is where we part ways. For everyone else who's still here, well, Are you comfy at the table? Let's take pop culture to pen and paper with today's Husbando Homebrew, Luminous Sorcery. Mel's light projection abilities make her a charisma-based abjurer, but she's no slouch in offense either. And while my tips to build her using official rules recommend a Celestial Warlock, Luminous Sorcery has a stronger tie to her character as a Sorcerer subclass. I managed to write down most of her cool light projection abilities for you, but know that this isn't an exact one-to-one conversion of Mel Medarda.
This is just a tribute.
It's especially not a one-to-one conversion for her League of Legends abilities. I'll skip over the initial character creation part since we'll keep the same Aasimar Noble setup from the previous section. In case you skipped to this part though, here's a quick recap you can pause on. Welcome to the action cam! It's the battle at the Hex Gate, and Mel Medarda has just made herself known to the invading Noxian forces. We have Mel at the center of this melee while an injured Caitlyn is surrounded by 4 Noxian soldiers. Caitlyn is going through a bunch of stuff right now, so she'll be incapacitated for the moment. Meanwhile, 2 other soldiers try and flank Mel. Let's roll initiative. The 2 soldiers use their Noxian training to try and flank the Luminous Sorceress. Both soldiers are surprised to miss their mark on an unarmed target with supposedly no combat experience. What they don't know is that Mel has a special base AC thanks to her 3rd level feature, Radiance. One of the main benefits of Radiance is granting an unarmored AC of 13 plus your Charisma modifier. It's Mel's turn. The soldiers are a little too close for comfort, but she's also worried for Caitlyn's safety. She'll first reduce the opposition, picking up a spear from the ground and striking one soldier by casting the True Strike cantrip. The Noxian soldier falls from her Radiant Spear. Unlike the 2014 version, True Strike is actually really good now. But you might have also noticed that it deals quite a bit more damage than you'd expect. So first, it's 1d6 for the spear, 1d6 for the cantrip, and True Strike makes it all radiant. It also deals a +4 to her charisma, which is also another benefit of True Strike. But why is it +8? This extra +4 is thanks to another benefit of Radiance, which adds Mel's charisma modifier to the damage rolls of her radiant damaging sorcerer spells. DMV from the future here. Yes, True Strike has a bit of muddy wording with regards to whether damage riders for cantrips apply, but I'd probably rule it this way at my table. Continuing from her turn, she'll use Innate Sorcery as a bonus action. As the golden markings along her skin shine, she also uses another benefit of Radiance and assumes her incandescent form. This grants several benefits like Dark Vision and Shedding Bright Light, but it's also a requirement for her higher level features. As part of the same bonus action, she'll use her level 6 feature, Guardian Luminous. This grants several options, but in this situation she'll use it to expend 2 sorcery points and change the way her shield spell works. She expects this will come into play soon. It's Caitlyn's turn now, but unfortunately she's going through the shock of her rebound betraying her and then quickly becoming incompatible with life in the span of a few moments. Unfortunately, all 4 soldiers surrounding her don't care and immediately go on the offensive. Several of those attacks should have hit, but Mel uses her reaction to cast a shield spell, but not for herself.
Call an ambulance! But not for me!
This is one of the key benefits of Guardian Luminance, the ability to protect her allies with a shield spell. And since she's in her incandescent form, she gets to do more stuff with shield. As part of casting the spell, she'll use Flash Barrier and expend 2 sorcery points to cast it without taking a reaction. And since one of the attacks was a ranged attack that missed, she can use her actual reaction to use Rebounding Aegis. This lets her expend another 2 sorcery points to redirect a missed range attack at another target, and she'll use that attack to target the soldier next to her. The ensuing chaos finally snaps Caitlyn out of her stupor. Seeing the numbers against them, she takes up arms as the remaining soldiers are now thinking twice about their chances of victory. For the sake of brevity and my sanity, I won't be going through all the turns until all the soldiers are out of the fight. but hopefully you have an idea on how the Luminous subclass works. The features basically grow on two branches, one for passive features and another one for when you take your incandescent form. MC and I love Arcane. We think it's a great setting, so it's nice to finally dip my toes and see if it's received well. Speaking of which, friend of the channel, the Ugly Goblin, made a homebrew video on an Arcane-style crafting system for D&D. Go check him out and put a mallard emoji in his comment section. Let me know in the comments if I did a decent job expressing Mel Medarda as a D&D character. You can find the Luminous Sorcerer document in the Ko-Fi or Patreon shop links in the description. Both have a free version that has features up to level 6. If you want to support us directly, consider joining our Patreon or Ko-Fi membership. Joining the $5 tier gets you access to all our shop items for free, as well as early access to our upcoming homebrew. You'll also find yourself among these magnificent mallards you see on screen right now. MC, who do we give our special thanks to?
Hello, it is I, the Mallard Quinn, and a very special thank you to these Mallard Royal Guards. Bryant LW, Storm Starshine, KV, Coinop 1989, Piku, and Cosplay Battle. And of course, an extraordinarily special thanks to our Mallard Nobility, Hectic Planet 07 Minecraft Real Life Gaming. Thank you all so much for supporting our channel.
I'm going unscripted for this part of the video because I kind of want to try an unscripted version of myself for a bit and see if you guys like it. I hope fans of the show don't mind the official rules thing so much. I'm trying to cater to the folks who accidentally click on this video hoping to find an actual build guide for their character sheet. For Kamen Rider fans, the next rider will be Kamen Rider Rogue, so that means the actual build will be coming soon. Anyway, if you haven't seen it yet, Kamen Rider Exade won the recent rider polls for the channel, so expect Exade work to start as soon as build finishes, and I'm really excited for that. Anyway, I've rambled on enough for unscripted DMV, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and my wife and I hope you have a great day ahead.